1.
I want to thank everybody for coming out today in support of SB 1152, the Veteran Hall Tax Exemption. I'd like to start off by saying we have a moral obligation to take care of our veterans who have answered the call to defend our freedom. Nonprofit veteran service organizations such as the American Legion, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and the AMVETS played a crucial role in providing important services to our brave men and women. A grateful nation has granted and established has established veterans halls where veterans can have a permanent place in our communities to meet and socialize. These federally chartered nonprofits receive a property tax exemption. Here in San Diego, we understand how deserving our veterans are, so I was deeply disappointed to learn that California denies veterans some of the benefits they have earned. SB 1152 will correct an error in California law and allow our veterans to stop paying taxes that were never meant to be billed. Today, you'll hear from our veteran members of the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, and AMVETS about what these halls mean to them and their communities. With that, I'd like to introduce Ernie Dronenberg. Ernie has a special place. He served as chair of the Board of Equalization as well as the chairman of the Franchise Tax Board on 5 separate occasions. Ernie is currently our tax assessor, and he's also the author of the amendments that make this bill possible. So with that, I'd like to welcome Ernie Dronenberg.
Thank you very much. It's often that there are problems, but never enough solutions. So we came up working with the Office of the Senator with a solution to this bill to make it possible. This takes away some nitty-gritty technicalities that have stopped us from giving the full exemption to the veterans' homes. They deserve every penny of the exemption that they're not being able to get. So through the leadership of Senator and this bill, we will be able to give them an exemption that will help them meet their bills. This is not money that's going to be thrown away. This is money that they need to make their establishments go. I'd like to thank the Senator's staff for working so closely and doing a great job. And I'd like to introduce one of the main benefactors of this, Harry Woods, who is the commander of the American Legion. But before I do, write the Senator and support this bill. We need your support so we can move it through Sacramento. Harry?
To start off, I'd like to thank the Senator for sponsoring SB 1152. It's important to note that the nonprofit veteran service organizations play a crucial role in providing important services to veterans and their families. And this bill will preserve the important property tax exemptions that veteran service organizations can rely on to continue to serve the families and the communities. Especially in these economic times that are challenging, every dollar counts. Just a few statistics on the American Legion. The American Legion is comprised of 55 state-level departments in each of the 50 states, as well as the District of Columbia, France, Mexico, the Philippines, and Puerto Rico. There are approximately 14,000 posts throughout the 50 states. In 2013, the national membership was approximately 2.3 million and climbing. The American Legion extended its service to communities across the country through the development and revitalization of more than 300 posts, and we continue to revitalize more. Before I go any further, though, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge our Legion family, the American Legion Ladies Auxiliary, the Sons of the American Legion, and our newest edition of Legion Riders. They are all an integral part of our success. Legion Riders are the fastest growing segment of the American Legion. In fact, in 2013, they raised over $764,000 for the Legacy Run in support of the American Legion Legacy Fund. That's a fund which provides scholarships to the children of active duty service members who have died in the War of Terror since September 11, 2001. The American Legion continually strives to attract our younger veterans. Active duty members are eligible to join, and in fact, the American Legion has over 500,000 members who have joined under the War on Terrorism, the Persian Gulf, Lebanon, Grenada, and Panama War period of eligibility. The American Legion is still serving. I just have a small sample of what the American Legion Post did for God and country in the program year 2012 and 2013. We donated 4 million hours of service to the community, donated over 805,000 volunteer service hours to the medical centers, Veterans Affairs medical centers, donated more than 80,000 pints of blood to the collection centers nationwide. The American Legion is the single largest blood donor. Annually, we contribute nearly $33 million on programs benefiting our children and youth. We award 4,000 medals a year to the JROTC students. We actually award medals to the young people here at Sweetwater High School. We sponsor 15,000 American Legion Boys State Delegates. We also sponsor 2,000 scouting units that actually has 46,000 scouts. We've also sponsored more than 2,200 American Legion baseball teams and 1,600 youth baseball squads, and actually awarded more than $4 million in college scholarships to deserving students. I'm reminded of a story that my oratorical chairman shared with me. He told me about a young lady who took and wrote a speech for our oratorical contest. She continued to refine it and entered other speech contests, and when she was all done, she had earned over $22,000 for her college. Her parents were pretty happy about that, I'm sure. In closing, I'd like to say it's the American Legion's presence in the community that makes a difference. It's the true value of our membership. We're not in this for ourselves, we're in this for our brothers and sisters in arms, and we're in this to help the husbands, wives, and parents of those who serve and continue to serve. And like President Lincoln once promised, we do this to care for him who shall have borne the battle and for his widow and his orphan. It has been since our founding, citizens of this great nation know that when America calls, the American Legion will continue to say, at your service. God bless American Legion, and God bless America. Thank you. And now, I'd like to introduce the Veteran Reform Ward's Dale Smith.
Thank you, Harry. You know, there's a lot of things that the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the American Legion, and the AMVETS, Purple Heart Association, many other veterans organizations do for this country and our veterans. We are here to support the veterans and the active duty military in all ways of life, whether it's finding a job when they get out, or whether it's when they're on deployment, their wife has a problem with the car, the refrigerator, those types of things. We support them by going out and purchasing new equipment for them, for their vehicle, the home, those types of things while they're deployed, so their wives don't have to worry about, what am I going to do about the $500 I just had to spend? We raise over $10 million each year to give to our active duty veterans and our veterans who have retired or just got out of the service to find a job. You know, the economy has slowed. We're in a downturn. Prices are increasing for electricity, water, gas. All of those things affect our active duty and our retired veterans. Many times we must support them in ways financially that we never thought we would have to do before. And in earning our money, the way we do that is by selling our poppies on the street. Actually, it's a donation only. And also through our veteran services, we support all of these programs that we do for the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the community service that we are obligated to do. Not only supporting our veterans, but our community as well. Recently, this last year, we gave a $30,000 scholarship, which we've done over the past 10 years, to a young girl to earn her scholarship through a program that we call Voice of Democracy. Those monies that we raise for those programs come from the community and our veteran services people giving their time and efforts to help support our veterans. Now, these kids that are in high school going to college, $30,000 is a lot of money. But we can't do those programs if we don't have the money coming into our coffers to do that. In my local post alone, we pay over $2,600 a quarter in taxes. That money can very well be spent to support our veterans and our high school kids. The scholarships that we present each year, each post gives a scholarship to a high school senior, and then through other programs, they can advance to the national level where they can receive that $30,000 scholarship. Unfortunately, our monies have dried up a lot because a lot of our old World War II veterans are no longer able to give or have passed away. The younger generation is not as patriotic in their giving as our older generation was. They remember those days of the downturn in the economy when they had nothing, hardly anything to eat. Food stamps were not existent very well. So these people today, our patriotism has slowed in an immense level for the money coming in. So that the money that could be used for giving to our veterans, part of this bill will help us to do that. Just in local post economy alone, if you talking about $2,600 a quarter, that takes a lot of money away. This bill is a no-nonsense thing. It does not cost the county anything, doesn't cost the state anything. The federal government reimburses those monies as long as this bill will pass. Once that is done, the money that we don't have to pay anymore, the federal government will pay back to the cities and states. So I encourage all of our veterans and all the patriotic people in our country, in this state, to please support this bill. And I'd really like to thank Senator Anderson for bringing it to the public eye, because these types of things very seldom get to the public opinions. And that's what we need. Please, write your congressmen, write your senators, ask them to support this bill to help our veterans. Thank you very much.
Please help me deliver on California's promise to our veterans. Write a letter to my office or send an email on SB 1152 so that we may deliver on our promise to our veterans. Thank you.